In the Xinguan sect, people were busy doing their own work. And just then, a few people noticed someone walking by. He had tied a kitchen knife to a rope and was dragging it behind him like a pet. Seeing this, one disciple said, "Whoa! I've seen people walking their spirit beasts before, but this is the first time I'm seeing someone walking a kitchen knife." To this, another disciple quickly hushed him. "Sure! That's the Yuan from Chi Peak's senior brother!" Right after that, the other disciples also started whispering among themselves. One disciple said, "I heard he even threatens other disciples. Says their cultivation methods are poisonous. That guy's seriously scheming." Another warned, "Speak carefully. That man's crazy, don't mess with him." The third one said, "He's sitting in the position of the fifth senior brother, yet he hasn't even reached foundation establishment." And a fourth disciple added, "That guy is seriously weird." Qi Yuan heard all their whispers. "Oh, and yes, this man is our main character." Hearing their words, Qi Yuan thought to himself, "Weird? Scheming? Crazy? That's only because you people have no idea about the dangers of this world." Then he introduced himself. "My name is Qi Yuan, a cultivator of the Xinguan sect, and also a transmigrator. I might even have a system. The system could scan all the disciples and reveal their details. The first one was a newbie disciple who had just joined the sect. The second was a senior attendant of the Divine Medicine Peak. The third, someone who cultivated until he went insane. His life wouldn't last long. The fourth, a low-level disciple who barely gathered enough resources to reach foundation establishment. But using that foundation establishment method would attract the attention of strange entities." After reading all that, Qi Yuan thought to himself, "Ever since I transmigrated, not only can I see everyone's identifiers in the sect, I can also see annotations written on objects. Because of that, I've run into a lot of trouble. Yeah, this world is full of problems. Once you reach foundation establishment, you become a resource for certain mysterious beings, making cultivation almost impossible." Then suddenly, something struck him. Crap! I totally forgot. He started running off. Today's the day for disciple selection. The scene shifted to the front of Xinguan sect's main hall, where the disciple selection was already taking place. Someone said, "Qi Yuan from Chi Peak isn't here yet." Another replied, "Senior Brother Khan, you know his personality. He's from the One Track of Madness sect. He lives alone, sometimes shows up late, it's normal." Then the narrator explained, the One Track of Madness sect focuses on being obsessed with one thing. It could be a sword, a flower, or even a person. Such extreme obsession often leads to mental instability, and cultivators like them are called madmen in the cultivation world. Usually, no one dares provoke them. Meanwhile, Khan was fuming internally. Newbies haven't even joined yet, and the senior brother is late? What kind of example is that supposed to set? But right then, Qi Yuan finally arrived. Someone shouted, "He's here! Qi Yuan has arrived!" Khan glared and said angrily, "Since everyone's here, let's start the disciple selection." Then it was explained further. Today was the day when the 5 peaks would choose their disciples. Xinguan sect's reputation spread far and wide. Many came to study here. But only the top disciples could be chosen as true successors of the 5 peaks. The candidates standing before them were those who had achieved top ranks in the assessment. Truly worthy of being called geniuses. Then Khan began the introductions. "Let me introduce the senior disciples of each peak. From Dohan Peak, senior disciple Kuangren. From Chi Peak, senior disciple Qi Yuan. From Wanfa Peak, senior disciple Jie. From Divine Medicine Peak, senior disciple Zhuge Yang. And I am Kong Fulu, the closed-door disciple of Wangang Peak." Then, the narration introduced Kong Fulu himself. "This is Kong Fulu, famous as the most boastful man of Wangang Peak. He loves showing off. He's also the son-in-law of the sect leader of Xinguan sect, master of the Wangang sacred arts, founder of the small sunlight technique, and the chief disciple of Wangang Peak." All disciples bowed in greeting. "Greetings, senior brothers." Seeing Kang's showy attitude, everyone was stunned. Kong glanced at one particular disciple and thought, this one has a light spirit root. Perfect for cultivating Wangang Peak's techniques. I must take him first. Then he asked aloud, Senior brothers, how shall we choose these 7? The others silently thought. If you want to pick first, just say it. But Zhuge Yang spoke up. Before coming here, Master gave orders. This time, Chi Peak will choose first. He added, Chi Peak hasn't chosen anyone in ages. Rumors outside say that the other 4 peaks bully Chi Peak. Hearing that, Kong grew furious inside. You just love talking, huh? Fine, I'll choose someone first. Then no one can stop me from outshining Chi Yuan. But Chi Yuan didn't even know the candidate's details. Let him pick first, Kong thought. He might not even choose the light spirit root one. The top talent will still belong to my Wangang Peak. Then Kong said aloud, Junior brother Chi Yuan, please make your selection. Chi Yuan reacted, Oh. As soon as he stepped forward, the disciples became excited. Other peaks have many disciples competing for spots, but Chi Peak has only one. That means Chi Peak's resources are all his. Pick me. Pick me. Chi Yuan thought to himself. Since Master told me to pick a disciple and raise Chi Peak's popularity, I should choose someone suitable. He glanced at the same disciple Kong had his eyes on. Seeing this, Kong panicked. Crap! Did he notice? Cold sweat ran down his forehead. Chi Yuan scanned that disciple. A common boy, but he joined Xinhuan's sect with a hidden motive. Seeing that, Chi Yuan refused him. Next. Kong sighed in relief. I was overthinking. How could Chi Yuan's eyes match my Wangang Peak's brilliance? Next came a girl. Chi Yuan scanned her too. A common girl, but with a special constitution. The old black chicken demon is obsessed with her, calls her his cauldron. She could bring disaster to Xinhuan sect. Chi Yuan thought. Her constitution is indeed special, and dangerous. He rejected her as well. Next came another boy. Chi Yuan scanned him. A common boy, had 2 years of cultivation, but now has none. In the depths of his consciousness sleeps a remnant soul. Before joining Xinhuan sect, his fiancée broke their engagement. Chi Yuan shook his head. Next. Ugh, protagonist template. Taking him as a disciple would be risking my life. Then came another candidate, something strange. A boy's body, but a girl's heart. Chi Yuan frowned. Pervert. Rejected. Then came a 3-legged man. Chi Yuan grimaced. Even worse. Rejected again. Next came another candidate, but nothing special was displayed about him. Rejected again. Chi Yuan held his head. Honestly, this Xinhuan sect is full of problems. Then it was revealed. 3 months ago, Chi Yuan had exposed the sect leader of Xinhuan sect as a spy from the Demon Lust sect. He was imprisoned for days for it. Since then, he'd sworn not to expose any more problems. Chi Yuan thought, but if this world is full of problems, then maybe that means there are no problems. He tried to console himself. Zhuge Yang, watching him, thought, Chi Yuan, is he seriously going to reject everyone again? Kong, too, was frustrated. What's happening now? If he keeps this up, rumors will spread again, that the other peaks bully Chi Peak. Finally, the last candidate arrived, a girl. The system revealed. A common girl, a bit mysterious. Seems to have some feelings for the head of Chi Peak. Chi Yuan thought, feelings for the head? Then she's my rival. I must eliminate her. He was about to reject her when suddenly, the girl knelt down and began to speak. I am Jiang Lingsu. I have long admired senior brother of Chi Peak. I hope senior brother will accept me, give me a chance to enter Chi Peak. Everyone was stunned. Wait. Chi Yuan has fans? Even Kong was thinking. Seriously? Does Chi Yuan have such a good reputation? Chi Yuan, however, was suspicious. She's so attentive, could she have ulterior motives? Then the system revealed her background. Direct descendant of the Jiang clan. Jiang Lingsu began her story. My name is Jiang Lingsu, direct descendant of the Jiang clan. Based on my background, I would have ignored a sect like Xinguan sect. But now, I must join it. A month ago, my bloodline awakened, allowing me to use the precious family treasure. The Qianquan mirror. Inside it, I saw my father die in battle, my mother's blood spilling across the palace floors. The continent was shattered, oceans overturned. Only the small Xinguan sect seemed to remain. Perhaps there was a master there, that's why it survived. The Qianquan mirror, our family treasure, showed me a glimpse of the future. A warning of fate. But this memory cannot be spoken aloud. If I tell anyone, I'll forget it myself. That's why I must join Xinguan sect. Preferably Qi Peak, since its head is mysterious and powerful. Perhaps he's that very master. And Qi Peak only has one disciple. It'll be easy to join and investigate. She thought to herself. They say crazy cultivators have personality issues. They ignore everything. They have no attendants, no helpers. I, Jianglingsu, can use that to my advantage. For the sake of my loved ones and the world, what's a little sacrifice for me? Then she said aloud, I, Jianglingsu, am willing to become a servant. Even a horse or cow. To help senior brother Yuan, to relieve his troubles. Zhuge Yang and Kong were shocked. Yuan was completely dumbfounded. Then Jianglingsu's eyes filled with tears, hands clasped together, looking at Yuan with pleading eyes. At that very moment, a system notification appeared. Qi Peak's last candidate disciple detected. If Qi Peak does not recruit someone soon, the other 4 peaks may forcibly assign disciples. Yuan thought. Damn, that's troublesome. How am I supposed to deal with forcibly sent problem disciples? Forget it, I'll just take this one. She's a girl anyway. She can't possibly compete with me for master's favor. So he accepted. Fine. Jianglingsu's face lit up. Thank you, senior brother Yuan. The other senior disciples looked at each other, thinking. Oh, so this is the kind of thing Yuan likes. Then it was revealed. A girl happy with her own success. But in truth, Yuan simply had no other choice. And then Yuan said to everyone, all the selections are done. I'll leave first. At that moment, Zhuge Yang stopped him. Junior brother Yuan, wait a minute. I have a few questions about the Yangnan pill formula that I want to ask you. Junior brother, do you have time to explain it to me? If you can clear my doubts, I'm willing to offer a foundation-building spiritual item in return. Hearing that, Kong thought to himself, a foundation-building spiritual item? That's not cheap. Kuang Ren also thought inwardly, seriously? A disciple from the Divine Medicine Peak is asking Yuan about pill-making? Then Yuan said, this evening, I'll be going down the mountain for a walk. I can take a look for you then. Zhuge Yang replied. That's fine. After that, Yuan turned to Jianglingsu and said, Junior sister, let's go. She nodded. Oh, okay. And followed behind him. After the two of them left, Kong grabbed Zhuge Yang and shouted, Junior brother Zhuge, are you sure you want to ask Yuan about the formula? Zhuge Yang replied. Junior brother Yuan is extremely talented and often comes up with some shocking ideas. When it comes to pill making, he might have some unique insights. Half a month ago, senior brother Yuan and I met while he was walking, and discussing formulas with him was quite beneficial. Kong thought to himself, what is this? A lunatic with such broad thinking? Then Kuang Ren said, if he were really as capable as you claim, would he still be lacking a foundation-building spiritual item? Junior brother Zhuge, you're going to lose yours for nothing, Zhuge Yang replied calmly. A genius at one step and a madman at the next, Yuan might truly have some unique insights. Hearing that, Kong said, fine, fine. We still have some serious matters to attend to. If no one objects, I'll begin selecting people now. He then glared at the disciple he had been observing earlier, making that disciple nervous. The scene then shifted to the Qi Peak, where Yuan had already brought Jianglingsu. She looked around and said, so this is Qi Peak? Then she asked, senior brother, is master here? What kind of person is master? Hearing this, Yuan began to explain. Master is very beautiful. Jiang Lingsu was shocked. Wait, is that the word you used to describe your master? She asked. Other than being beautiful? Yuan continued. Master also has a great figure. Hearing that, Jiang Lingsu thought, are all cultivators from the obsession lineage like this? Truly terrifying. Then she said, Senior brother, as a newly admitted disciple, can I pay my respects to Master? Yuan replied. You can't. There's a restriction on the mountain top. Master once said that until one reaches the Yuan pill stage, no one is allowed to visit her there. Hearing this, she was stunned and thought, What? There are 7 stages in the cultivation path: Qi refining, foundation building, Yuan pill, divine infant, purple mansion, Yuan spirit, and Yang spirit. One becomes a core disciple at foundation building, and reaching the Yuan pill stage makes you high level within the sect. Even with my talent and full family support, it would take me over 10 years to reach that level. Why would Master set such a difficult requirement? Yuan said casually. Maybe Master is afraid of seeing me. Hearing that, Jiang Lingsu thought, afraid of seeing you? How could that be possible? She continued walking beside Yuan, lost in thought. But there's a rumor. After Qi Yuan once saw Master, he was never seen again in the sect for a long time. Just what taboo did he break? Then Yuan said, By the way, junior sister, I originally had no plans to recruit anyone at Qi Peak. So, I didn't prepare a place for you to stay. Over there. He pointed behind. There are some grassy areas and pieces of wood. Are your hands good at working? Build yourself a straw hut and stay there for now. Then he turned to leave. I'll head back. Watching Yuan walk away, Jiang Lingsu stood there in disbelief, thinking, I'm from the mighty Jiang clan, and I really have to build my own straw hut? But she took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Calm down, calm down. Then she thought, even if senior brother is a bit unreasonable, I can't forget why I came here. I must find that expert who can withstand natural disasters. After a short while, Jiang Lingsu finished building her small hut and happily said, All done! It was then explained that she had used spiritual power to forcibly hold the structure together. She thought to herself, now, I should try to build some rapport with senior brother Qi. Then she called out, Senior brother! From inside, Yuan's voice came, Come in. Jiang Lingsu entered and asked, Senior brother, are you playing games? Yuan nodded. Yes. Then it was explained that the current cultivation world was no longer the dull, silent place it used to be. The entertainment industry had flourished immensely. There were pill gambling arenas, brothel entertainments, sword immortal dances, and even games. The jade slip in Qi Yuan's hand seemed to be a gaming jade slip. Inside such jade slips were various types of games, fighting games, dungeon explorations, farming simulators, and even special categories. You name it, and it existed. Seeing Yuan's jade slip, Jiang Lingsu thought, but senior brother's jade slip looks a bit special. Has he been gaming all afternoon? Growing irritated, she thought, damn it, I've been working hard all day, and he's still at the Qi refining stage. Why doesn't he have to train hard like the rest of us? Then she said aloud, Senior brother, you don't cultivate? If I'm not mistaken, you're already at the peak of Qi refining, just one step away from foundation building. It was then explained that she too was at the peak of Qi refining. Yuan replied calmly, You don't understand. I am cultivating. Hearing that, she thought, cultivators of the obsession lineage must find their object of obsession to cultivate properly. Don't tell me, senior brother's obsession is games? But being addicted to games is just addiction, not cultivation. Even the obsession lineage can't cultivate by playing games. As she was thinking that, Yuan said, What did you need from me? Just say it. She quickly replied, Senior brother, I built my straw hut. Can you now teach me Qi Peak's cultivation technique? Yuan said, Qi Peak's cultivation technique cannot be practiced. She frowned. Why not? Inwardly, she thought, could there be a secret behind this technique? Maybe it's connected to that mysterious expert. Did I just find a clue? Then Yuan said, Because the cultivation technique is poisonous. She was stunned. How could a sect's cultivation technique be poisonous? Then she said, "It's fine, senior brother. I don't mind." She extended her hand forward. Yuan took out a jade slip and said, "All right then. This is Chi Peak's cultivation technique, refined by Chi Yuan." Jiang Lingsu took it, thinking in confusion, "What nonsense is this?" She said aloud, "Senior brother, you're amazing. You can even modify cultivation techniques?" Yuan replied, "I did modify it, but unfortunately it's not fully revised yet. I'll give you the completed version later." Jiang Lingsu thought, how can cultivation techniques be modified so easily? To even qualify for that, one must at least be at the golden core stage. But he's still at Chi refining. Then she smiled politely and said, "Thank you, senior brother. But cultivation techniques are extremely important. Please don't modify them randomly, or you might easily fall into Chi deviation." Yuan calmly replied, "You think everything will be fine if we don't modify cultivation techniques?" Hearing that, she thought, no, it's exactly the opposite. Problems arise because you modify them randomly. Senior brother's brain really has a few loose screws. Well, as expected of a cultivator from the obsession lineage, a big problem indeed. Later, she returned to her small hut, sat on the bed, and began to practice. Let's see what quality Chi Peak's cultivation technique really has. I just don't know if I can even understand anything after senior brother's modifications. Chi Fire Refinement Art, a very ordinary jade-level cultivation technique. I've seen it in my family's library before. Oh, this part was modified by senior brother. That actually looks quite legitimate. After practicing for a while, she sighed. I can't let senior brother cultivate recklessly like this. I need to take this technique to Sister Ya for review. The scene then shifted to the Shan Yuan Forbidden Zone. There, a massive snake was fighting against someone, and that someone was Chi Yuan. After slaying the snake, he said, "A mere level 50 mob dares to act tough before me?" It was explained that the game Chi Yuan was playing was a monster grinding game. The place was called Moon Gazing Continent, and Chi Yuan's current location was the Shan Yuan Forbidden Zone, one of the 4 great forbidden lands. When Chi Yuan had first arrived here, he was only level 1. After a brutal survival grind, he fought through waves of monsters until he reached level 80. Every monster that came his way was slaughtered. He thought, right now, I'm incredibly strong. If I were in reality, I could probably slice the patriarch of the Divine Light sect in one strike, no problem at all. After defeating the monsters, he looked toward the boss and said, "Now only the boss remains." The boss was Matt Brush, level 70. He thought, this creature is a simple foxtail brush during the day, but transforms into a demon at night to attack those it has charmed. Its nighttime attacks are so brutal that even when I log off and go idle, I still have to dig a pit and bury myself to stay safe. Then Chi Yuan pointed his sword forward and declared, "At last, the day of my revenge has come. It's time for a fierce strike." He charged toward the brush demon, shouting, "Where are you running, demon?" The brush suddenly activated, vanished, and tried to attack from behind. But when it tried to pierce through Chi Yuan, it couldn't, and instantly died on the spot. Seeing that, Yuan said, "Heh, shocked, aren't you? I came prepared this time." He smirked and added, "I made special equipment just to deal with you." Then he raised his sword and unleashed Heaven-breaking sword draw technique. The ground split apart with that strike, and the brush demon was destroyed completely. After the battle, Yuan sheathed his sword and said, "Too weak." Immediately, a system notification appeared. "Congratulations, player. You've cleared the Shan Yuan Forbidden Zone dungeon." Then the system announced the rewards. Rewards obtained, Heavenly Dao Fragments times 10. Divine Brush. Chi Yuan took both rewards and thought, so these are the rewards for clearing the Shan Yuan Forbidden Zone. The 2 items then merged directly into his body. And after seeing this, Yuan closes his eyes and starts thinking, after obtaining the Heavenly Dao Fragment, it feels like I've become the master of the Shan Yuan Forbidden Zone. He thinks, this game's design is quite unique. But why is it called a fragment? Could there be other fragments as well? And what will happen once I collect them all? Then, he thinks about that other thing. He takes out the divine brush and says in his mind, this divine brush is made from the power of rules itself. It can be used to write the laws for the Shanwan Forbidden Zone. Let's try it out. He starts thinking about what he should write. Suddenly, he realizes it. Got it. Then he writes in midair. Carrying a ladder grants unrestricted passage. We're told that Yuan was thinking of that meme from Earth. The one where carrying a ladder lets you enter any park for free. After writing it, he wonders, should I also add the requirement to wear a maintenance worker's uniform? Then he glances at the time and mutters, it's getting late. It's time to meet Yuga. He says, forget it, my writing is done, and exits the game. He mutters, it's late already. Time to meet Yuga. He leaves the jade there and heads out, saying to his belly knife, and this way, I can also take you for a walk. Then he steps outside. We're told that although Yuan was considered crazy, he was at least a well-known figure in the sect. So, many sect cultivators started following his trend of taking their weapons for walks. At that moment, Yuan was about to slice open a girl's belly with his knife, when he commented, SKSK, your little turtle isn't bad at all. Maybe after a few thousand years, it'll develop spiritual intelligence. Hearing this, the girl gets angry and thinks, if you can't say anything nice, then don't say anything at all. It'll take a few thousand years for your knife to develop intelligence. Then she retorts aloud, Senior Brother Yuan, when will your knife's spiritual intelligence awaken? Two nearby disciples burst out laughing. One says, Yuan's weapon is just a kitchen knife, how could it possibly talk? Then Yuan replies calmly, at most a year. At least, very soon. The girl laughs and says, Senior Brother, you really know how to joke. The two men exchange looks, thinking, Senior Brother's gone crazy again. Nearby, Juga is watching everything. The person beside Juga says, Senior Brother Juga, don't let him fool you. Look at him acting insane. How could he possibly know anything about pill refinement? But Juga suddenly shouts, Junior Brother Yuan modified the soil forging art and tested it himself. Whether he succeeded or not, his courage is praiseworthy. And you're laughing at him? You're truly frogs at the bottom of a well. Then Juga walks up to Yuan and says, Junior Brother Yuan. The surrounding disciples quickly greet him, saying, Senior Brother's scolding was absolutely right. We're told that Juga Yang was a powerhouse at the foundation establishment level. Juga Yang says, today my master was refining medicine, and I was serving him, that's why I'm late. Please forgive me. Yuan replies, no problem. Then Juga shows him a pill formula and says, Junior Brother Yuan, this is the formula for a nourishing origin pill that I found in a cave. He asks, what do you think of it? Yuan takes the formula and scans it. The system analyzes it. This is a nourishing origin pill formula. If you replace red yellow herb with glossy privet and rum's drum with lesser sunflower, the pill's effect can increase by up to 50%, and its toxicity will decrease by 10 to 20%. After reading this, Yuan says there are several problems in this nourishing origin pill formula. Replace the red yellow herb with glossy privet and rum's drum with lesser sunflower. Hearing that, the man beside Juga Yang gets angry and thinks, nonsense. You didn't even look at the formula properly. But Juga ponders, glossy privet, lesser sunflower. Then Yuan says aloud, where's the foundation establishment spiritual material? Juga takes one out and says, here it is, purple crystal jade bamboo, an 8th grade foundation establishment spiritual material. We're told about the classification. Foundation establishment spiritual materials have 9 grades. Lower 3, middle 3, upper 3, and according to legends, even higher ones beyond that. Using higher grade materials yields better results and greater potential. These materials are extremely expensive. Even lower grade purple crystal jade bamboo is something ordinary refining disciples of the Divine Light sect can't afford. Then Juga says the grade of this purple crystal jade bamboo is a bit low. If Junior Brother Yuan isn't in a hurry, you can gather more spirit stones and combine them with the bamboo to exchange for a higher grade foundation establishment material. Yuan smiles and says no need, but thank you. He accepts it. Then Juga sighs, Junior brother Yuan, if you hadn't angered your master, you'd already be in the foundation establishment stage by now. Forget mid-grade, even high-grade materials would be no problem for you. He thinks to himself, even the Divine Light Sect master must remain polite and respectful before your master, Roi Yushi, a suspected divine infant stage powerhouse. She's been the peak master for over 1,000 years. A lifespan like that can only belong to someone at the divine infant stage. For such a powerhouse, even the things that slip through her fingers are priceless treasures. Yet you, lustful fool, dared to anger her, and she cut off your resources. Then he says aloud, "Why don't you just apologize to your master?" Yuan replies, "I didn't say anything wrong, so why should I apologize? I'll tell you all something." Hearing that, Juga freezes in shock and thinks, "Wait, don't tell me he's about to." Yuan continues, "All of you fear Roi Yushi, but I don't, because she's my." Before he can finish, Juga quickly covers his mouth and shouts, "Junior brother Chi, stop talking." Then he lets go, turns to leave, and says, "I'm heading back to study the pill formula. We'll talk later." He returns to Divine Medicine Peak. The man beside him mutters, "Senior brother, that Chi Yuan isn't even from our Divine Medicine Peak. How could he possibly help you examine a pill formula? I'll just go and retrieve the purple crystal jade bamboo." Hearing that, Juga glares coldly at him and says, "Who gave you the right to judge my transaction with junior brother Chi Yuan?" The man panics and says, "Why yes, senior brother. I was only worried that you might return empty-handed and waste the medicinal materials." Juga replies, "You don't understand anything. Once I refine a few batches and compare them with the formula, we'll see the results." Then the scene shifts to another peak. It's night now. Yuan enters his room, unties the rope around his knife, sets it aside, and says, "Dinner's done. Time to play the game." But then he notices his jade tablet, and his eyes widen in shock. He exclaims, "Wait. I'm already logged in." We're shown a flashback, back to the time when Chi Yuan first obtained that game jade slip. At first, he thought it was just some strange electronic gadget. Looking at the jade back then, he wondered to himself, what exactly is this? Can you even chat with it? As the story continues, we learn that at that time, the game map hadn't yet been unlocked, but inside the jade slip, there was already one friend added. Seeing that, Chi Yuan wondered, who is this Imperial Guard Chancellor? Why does she talk in such a weird way? From the way she speaks, she sounds like someone who manages a huge family business. Maybe she's a rich and beautiful lady. Thinking that, Chi Yuan's lips curved into a mischievous smile. Let's tease her a little. He teases her, and she actually gets angry. He laughs softly. She's quite cute. The narration tells us that, in the hospital, Chi Yuan had no friends at all. That girl in the jade slip was the only one he could talk to. But unfortunately, as soon as the game map refreshed, his friend list completely disappeared, and he never saw her again. Now, the scene returns to the present. Chi Yuan stares at the online notification, thinking, I never thought I'd see you again. What should I even say? After hesitating a bit, he starts typing. No, not like that, better to write it this way. Finally, he sends the message. Are you there? The scene then shifts to the southern Qian kingdom. We see an empress gesturing for her maids to leave. Once they're gone, she sighs in her heart, even the maids around me can't be trusted. As an empress, I truly am helpless. Her title appears, Jean Li, Empress of the South Qian Kingdom. Jean Li reminisces about her past. 10 years ago, when father died, I ascended the throne at just 7 years old, only in name. In truth, I was utterly alone. The demon race's invasions, the hostile eyes of foreign nations. South Qian has endured one calamity after another through these years. She clenches her fists in anger, thinking, and now, Prime Minister Sima Ting has colluded with the Northern Khan court. Even Aunt Qin, the one I trusted most, was ambushed and gravely injured. My situation only worsens by the day. We are told that Aunt Qin is a king-level powerhouse, and Jean Li's greatest pillar of strength. Thinking about that, Jean Li's heart burns with fury. Sima Ting, the injury Aunt Qin suffered, It's all you're doing, isn't it? Lost in thought, she begins to undress and steps into the bath. The moment she enters the water, her exhaustion seems to melt away. So tired, she murmurs softly. Then her eyes catch a faint glow. She looks closer, stunned. Wait, that's the Linglong Jade. A flashback follows. We're told that this Linglong Jade is a legendary treasure, said to exist in pairs. Those who each possess one piece can communicate across any distance. One piece is stored within the royal treasury of the South Qian Kingdom. A year ago, when Jean Li visited the royal treasury, she had seen this jade, and unknowingly took it with her. At that moment, she had felt something mysterious. It's as if this jade is calling out to me. After that, through the Linglong Jade, she met a very interesting person. She chatted with him through the jade and thought, this person is truly amusing. Though that man spoke in an odd and confusing way, he always brought a smile to the lonely Empress's face. And for a brief while, allowed her to open her heart. Now, back in the present. The jade suddenly lights up with a message. She reads it, then types back. I'm here. She thinks to herself, it's been half a year since I last heard from you. I thought something might have happened to you. Then she types another message. Where have you been all this time? On the other side, Yuan replies, I wanted to invite you to hunt monsters with me, but once I entered the map, I couldn't chat or contact anyone. Reading that, Jean Li tilts her head and thinks, hunting monsters, he must mean slaying demons. Could he be a demon hunter? Then she sends back another message. Is it dangerous there? Yuan replies, danger? For us players, we're the fourth calamity. What kind of monsters could be dangerous? They're just the XP packs. Want to team up? Mixed gender teams recover fatigue faster. Jean Li frowns slightly, thinking, he's inviting me to hunt demons with him? But then she sighs softly and types back. I have urgent matters at home. I can't come. Yuan messages again. So busy that you don't even have time to play games? After a short pause, she asks, where are you now? Yuan answers, I was in the Shanyuan Forbidden Zone before. Now I'm heading to the Yugan Forbidden Zone. The moment Jean Li reads those names, her face pales, she's completely stunned. In her heart, she screams, Shanyuan Forbidden Zone. Yugan Forbidden Zone. Aren't those two among the four great forbidden lands? We're told that the moon-gazing continent is vast and endless. A world where the human race and demon race stand against each other. But beyond both of them lies something far more terrifying. Not another race, but the legendary four forbidden zones and one absolute land. Jean Li's mind is in chaos. Even the emperors of the demon race wouldn't dare step foot in those places. Entering means certain death and total annihilation. And the absolute land, known as Heaven's Absolute, is even more dreadful. Even emperors who enter it never return alive. The Shanyuan Forbidden Zone lies within South Qian Kingdom's borders, just a few hundred li from the capital. It's said to have formed over the tomb of a supreme powerhouse. Yuan said he's been hunting monsters there all this time? How is that even possible? Overwhelmed with disbelief, the Empress types a trembling message. Are you serious, or are you joking with me? Yuan's reply comes instantly. Why would I lie to you? I was just waiting to invite you to team up. It gets boring running dungeons alone. But it's fine now. I've already cleared out all the demons in the Shanyuan Forbidden Zone. I'm exhausted. Reading that, Jean Li freezes. Her hands tremble as she types. Cleared all of them? She's terrified, her thoughts racing. What does he mean by that? The demons of the Shanyuan Forbidden Zone aren't just numerous. They're terrifyingly powerful. In all of moon-gazing continent's history, only a handful of people have ever escaped from there alive. To say someone cleared the Shanyuan Forbidden Zone, even a supreme emperor couldn't possibly do that. The moment she read that message, Empress Jean Li was completely stunned. She replied in disbelief. You cleared them all? She thought to herself, what does that even mean? The demons in the Shanyuan Forbidden Zone aren't just numerous, they're extremely powerful. In the entire history of the moon-gazing continent, only a handful of prodigies have ever managed to escape alive from there. To claim that someone slaughtered the entire zone, even supreme emperors wouldn't be able to do that. Then she messaged Yuan again. What is your cultivation level? Don't tell me you're an emperor? To that, Yuan replied. Emperor? What's that? I'm already level 82. Level 82? Jinli was dumbfounded. She thought, Yuan always says strange things. Maybe that's just his own way of measuring power. I should find something to compare it with. So she messaged him again. In the Shanyan Forbidden Zone, was there any monster that left a strong impression on you? Yuan replied. The strongest there was a matte brush. It's very cunning, always disguises itself as a brush at night to ambush others. It has no honor at all. Because of it, I have to dig a hole and bury myself before logging off every time. Reading that, Jinli was shocked again. Matte brush? That creature has at least Supreme Emperor level power. In my Nangang Kingdom, only 2 people possess Emperor level strength. She asked. Then what was its level? Yuan messaged back. Just in the 70s. Seeing that, Jinli was speechless. In the 70s? And you're 82? Seriously, just then, Yuan asked her. Are you planning to go to the Shanyan Forbidden Zone? Jinli replied. There's a restriction outside it. Even emperors can't enter, Yuan responded. That's simple. I'll teach you. It's like going into a movie, just bring a ladder, and no one will stop you. Plus, the beast inside won't attack you either. Anyway, enough chatting, I've already reached the Iguan Forbidden Zone. Let's talk next time. Saying that, he stopped messaging. Jinli placed the jade slip aside, sighing as she thought, from the Shanyan Forbidden Zone to the Iguan Forbidden Zone, it's over 10,000 miles apart. How did he cover that distance in such a short time? Even a Supreme Emperor couldn't do that. Yuan, who exactly are you? After a while, she bathed and began reading reports. She thought to herself, the Southern War is getting even more serious. Even the War Elephant tribe has joined the battle. The Na-Fong Kingdom's crown prince will reach the capital in 3 days. The Nankan Kingdom has now become a fat piece of meat. Everyone's eyeing it. Am I about to become someone's spoil of war? In 10 days, Grand Preceptor of Na-Fong and Aunt Qin will duel. If Aunt Qin loses, I'll have to marry the crown prince of Na-Fong. But Aunt Qin is gravely injured. How could she possibly face him? Clenching her fists, Jinli muttered in her heart, what should I do? Yuan, I hope what you said is true. Then she ordered her maids. Go to the royal library and bring me all records about the Shanyan Forbidden Zone. After some time, all the records were delivered. As Jinli read through them, she thought, if I want to win, I must heal Aunt Qin. There are many spirit herbs inside the Shanyan Forbidden Zone. If I can find the right one. Suddenly her eyes fell upon a record. 9-petal Kilua, also called the Emperor's Herb. If Aunt Qin obtains this, not only will her injuries heal, she might even break through to the Emperor level. She thought again, it still sounds strange to just take a ladder and enter the Shanyan Forbidden Zone. But Yuan has no reason to lie to me. Besides, the record about Matte Brush exists only in Nengang's archives. That means what he said might actually be true. Finally, she decided, forget it. Let's leave the palace and head to the Shanyan Forbidden Zone. Also, I'll send another team to the Iguan Forbidden Zone to investigate. If there really is a powerhouse raising beasts there, we should find signs of activity. Scene shift. Inside the Iguan forest, Yuan had already arrived. Countless spirits surrounded him, clearly ready to attack. All of them were level 50 and above. Seeing so many at once, Yuan was shocked. Damn, that's a lot. Then he muttered. Too tricky. Let's bail. And started running. The spirits chased him out of the forest and attacked him together, but Yuan fought back fiercely and, after some time, managed to drive them all away. He exhaled in relief. Phew, finally escaped. Then he thought, these Iguan spirits aren't like the monsters in Shanyan. They're organized and fight in formation. Way harder to deal with. He began digging a hole. Forget it. Enough for today. Time to log off. Then he buried himself in the ground and exited the game. Scene shift, Nagang Kingdom, Chancellor's residence. We see Chancellor Sima Ting playing a game with someone when a servant entered and reported. Your Excellency, today Her Majesty met with the Minister of Revenue. She reallocated the disaster relief silver and also met with Madame Qin. After that, she spent the evening in her study reviewing memorials. At night, she ordered her maid to bring records from the royal library regarding the Shanyan Forbidden Zone. Hearing this, Sima Ting said, Shanyan Forbidden Zone, huh? It seems she's pinning her hopes on such things. Madame Qin is gravely injured. How could she possibly win the duel in 10 days? He added, Now my only concerns are my allies in the northern Khan court and General Tianqi on the border. The man playing the game with him chuckled. Congratulations, Chancellor. 10 days from now, when Madame Qin loses, we'll all rise together. Then, the Nangang Chancellor's domain will be ours. Sima Ting replied calmly. Still, send some men to keep watch on her. It's always best to stay cautious while working. Scene shift, Chisek Peak, next morning. Qian walked out of his room and saw Jiang Lingsu practicing diligently. He smiled. Morning, junior sister. Then he scanned her. On the screen appeared her details. An ordinary young girl who has mastered many Taoist techniques. She hopes that one day she'll gain enough power to suppress disasters so that the world will never suffer again. Qian thought, not bad. Junior sister Jiang has a heart that wants to save the world. But she's sweating a lot. Then Jiang Lingsu noticed him and said, Senior brother, why do you look so weak? Don't tell me you've overindulged? Qian shouted. How could that be? I just played games too long last night, and used too much mental energy. She frowned. Who loses mental energy by playing games? Qian fell silent. Then he thought, that must be because I still haven't reached the foundation establishment stage. I must reach it soon. For that, I need a cultivation method. I've already read all the sect's manuals, but they're not enough. Then he looked at Jiang Lingsu again. He could see her noble background and her mastery over many Taoist techniques. Seeing him staring so intently, Lingsu trembled. Say, senior brother? What's wrong? Qian walked up, grabbed her shoulders, and shook her, saying, Junior sister, you have to save your senior brother. I can tell you come from a noble background. Do you have any extra cultivation methods? Grade doesn't matter, just let me take a look. Jiang Lingsu asked in confusion. How many do you need? Qian answered seriously. The more the better. 100 or 1,000 would be fine. She was stunned. What do you even need so many techniques for? Qian replied. To create my own cultivation method. Once I master my own path, not just Shigong's sect, the entire Kanglan realm will be under my protection. Hearing that, Jiang Lingsu thought silently, senior brother is way too confident. I could probably defeat him with one hand right now. But since he asked, I'll help him. After all, we're the only two on this peak. Master has taken no other disciples for years. She must really value him. Then she took out a jade slip and handed it to him. I'll let you borrow these techniques. Senior brother, don't waste time playing games. Focus on cultivation. One day, you'll have to protect your little junior sister. Qian gave her a thumbs up. Hey, gaming is also a kind of cultivation. Jiang Lingsu grew angry hearing that. Back in his room, Qian looked at the jade slip excitedly. Wow, sacred techniques. Junior sister, you're truly fragrant. He sat on the bed and began studying them. Dish a demon soul art, for advancement techniques, 3 essence skills, cultivation methods divided into initial, intermediate, advanced, jade, mystic, and heavenly grades. The higher the grade, the harder to cultivate, but the more powerful the potential. There were 627 techniques in total within the jade slips. Most were initial and intermediate, but that was more than enough for him. The next day, Qian opened his eyes and shouted, I've enlightened myself. I am the dust master now. The screen scanned his new cultivation method. It was a flawed one. There was a chance of memory confusion during cultivation, and it could only reach the peak of chi refining. But it was worth mentioning, cultivating this method wouldn't make him anyone's nourishment. Hard work always pays off, he said proudly. I should give it a grand name, let's call it the Chien Cannon. After naming it, he lay down tiredly on the bed. Too bad it only goes up to the peak of chi refining. Tomorrow, I'll attend some advanced lectures and try to perfect it for foundation establishment stage. Yawning, he muttered, I'm so tired. I wonder what Jinli is doing right now. Scene shift. Inside the game, Yuan Forbidden Zone. Empress Jinli had already arrived with her servants and guards. Walking forward, she touched the barrier surrounding the Forbidden Zone and said, So this is the legendary Shanyan Forbidden Zone. Even Supreme Emperors can't enter here. Then a guard approached and reported, Your Majesty, we've investigated the nearby areas. The locals say there have been no changes in the Shanyan Forbidden Zone, no signs of activity at all. Hearing that, Jinli frowned. Strange, didn't Chien just say he cleared this place recently? Then why is there no sign of any activity? She said softly. Then she commanded, Tell them to bring the ladders and enter. All the guards replied together, Yes, Your Majesty. And then the captives who had been brought along were surrounded by the guards, ready to be sent inside. At this, the men suddenly start shouting, Is this the Xian Forbidden Zone? How can we go inside this? Master, this isn't what you said. We are trying to save our lives, not throw them away into the jaws of death. Then all of them fall to their knees in front of Empress Jinli, and begging desperately say, Please don't send us to die. Meanwhile, far away, two men are secretly watching them. They are the Chancellor's spies. The first spy says, What does this Empress mean by this? Does she really intend to enter the Xian Forbidden Zone? To this, the second spy scoffs and says, Trying to climb over that wall with a ladder? What a joke! But the very next moment, both of them see something that makes their eyes go wide in shock. We see that those men have already been sent into the Forbidden Zone. In the next instant, one man climbs over the ladder effortlessly without any obstruction, and soon after, the rest of the prisoners also climb in smoothly. They are all stunned, exclaiming, What's going on here? They actually went inside. Seeing this, the two spies are also in utter shock. One of them says, This is the Xian Forbidden Zone, a place even the Supreme Emperor himself cannot enter. How are they managing to go inside, just with a ladder? He adds in panic, We must report this to the master immediately. But before he can finish, one spy's head is suddenly severed from his body, and in the next instant, the other's head is also cut off. The ones who killed them were none other than the Empress's personal guards. After killing both, one of the guards steps forward and reports, Your Majesty, all the Chancellor's spies have been eliminated. Empress Jinli nods and says calmly, Good. You must keep this matter absolutely secret. At this, all the guards swear in unison. We swear on our lives, this secret will never reach another soul. Then Jinli commands firmly, Everyone, lift the ladder onto your backs and follow me inside. Remember, even if you encounter a terrifying beast, do not abandon the ladder. Understood? All the guards respond together. As you command. Just then, one guard steps forward hesitantly and says, Your Majesty, you are of noble status. You shouldn't enter such a dangerous place. Let us go in instead, while you wait here. But Jinli turns sharply and says sternly, No. I will go in with all of you. Then, in her heart, she thinks, I trust Yuan. After that, all of them enter the Forbidden Zone together. Once inside, Jinli thinks to herself in disbelief, they truly entered, and there's no attack happening on them either. Soon, her guards spot some spiritual herbs growing nearby and start shouting excitedly. So many spiritual herbs. This is Manhwa fragrance. Shu Enya grass. Green fruit. Seeing all this, Empress Jinli also thinks to herself, For 10,000 years, no one has entered this place. Unlike other forbidden zones where the strong have already taken all the outer herbs, these are still untouched. An hour later, her guards return, their arms full, and say, "Your Majesty, we've gathered 23 top-grade spiritual herbs." Jinli looks at them, shocked, and thinks to herself, top-grade spiritual herbs. Since childhood, I've consumed fewer than 10 myself. Then, one guard says excitedly, "With this many herbs, who knows how many powerful cultivators we can create, or how many experts will serve us?" But Jinli, deep in thought, replies seriously, "These 23 top-grade herbs alone aren't enough to change the situation." Then she shouts a command. "We must go deeper! We have to collect imperial-grade spiritual herbs, especially the 9-petal chiluo." All the guards respond together. "We are ready to follow your Majesty." They begin moving forward. As they advance, Jinli thinks, "I must obtain the 9-petal chiluo to heal Aunt Qing's injuries. It might even help her advance further. And this is also the perfect chance to find out where Yuan has been for the past 6 months." Following behind her, one guard thinks silently, "Who could that extraordinary person be who taught Her Majesty this method? He must be a supreme emperor himself." Then, the scene shifts, outside the game, to the Xingguanzong Cultivation Hall. Here, seeing Yuan, all the disciples are utterly shocked. A girl in front says, "A purple robe! A true disciple? Why is he here in a basic class?" A boy next to her says, "That's no ordinary purple robe. He's a peak's top disciple." Another boy shouts, "What?" Then someone whispers, "Aren't these major classes only for outer and service disciples?" So, we are told that the disciples of Xingguanzong are divided into 4 ranks: true, inner, outer, and service. Service disciples are the lowest, they cultivate while performing chores. Inner disciples are above them, and usually have a mentor. True disciples are personally taught by an elder, and a peak's top disciple is even more exceptional, known as the sect's pride or the pinnacle of disciples. Even ordinary elders fear offending them. Everyone keeps whispering among themselves. A boy says, "That's Yuan, the top disciple of which peak?" A girl, practically swooning, says, "No wonder! The top disciple really is so handsome." Another boy adds, "But what is he doing here?" A third whispers quietly, "I heard he angered a peak master, who's now sulking in the hall." "I only told you, don't spread it." The love-struck girl gasps, "Wow, he made a peak master angry? He's so bold." Meanwhile, Yuan, full of confidence, thinks to himself, as expected, handsome men are always the center of attention. Just then, the teacher arrives and, seeing Yuan, is stunned. A purple-robed true disciple, and not just that, a top disciple of a peak. Then he smiles inwardly. It must be because my lectures are so good that even a top disciple came to listen. I must give my 200% today and shock this kid completely. He steps forward and introduces himself. "My name is Shuran Shan," he continues. "Today, this old man will teach you the key points of foundation establishment. Above Qi refining lies foundation establishment. Once you reach it, you can become a deacon of our Xingguanzong and enjoy its offerings." Then he turns serious. "But even foundation establishment differs in quality. You all know that the spiritual materials used vary in grade. The better the material, the better the result. But do you know that foundation establishment itself has different grades?" The students start whispering. Shuran Shan smiles inwardly. "Good. It's working. Time to raise the dose," he explains. "Foundation establishment is divided into 4 grades: mortal grade, spiritual grade, earth vein grade, and immortal grade. Normally, lower grade materials lead to mortal grade foundations. I myself only achieved mortal grade. I wasted my life and can no longer hope to reach the golden core stage. Such a pity, such a pity," he continues. "Mid-grade materials yield spiritual grade, while high-grade ones give earth vein grade foundation establishment." A chart appears showing low, mid, and high-grade materials. Then he adds, "But above even high-grade materials, there exist those capable of producing immortal grade foundation establishment. Achieve that, and you might truly have a chance to become an immortal." All the disciples grow excited. "Immortal? Can that really happen?" one whispers. Old Shu's lecture feels very different today. But Qi Yuan, bored, thinks that's it? The books from my peak already mentioned this stuff. He stands up and raises his hand. Teacher, is Immortal Grade Foundation establishment the highest kind? Shu Runshan frowns. This kid isn't impressed. I'll have to use something grander. He clears his throat. Not exactly. Above Immortal Grade exists the legendary Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment, the strongest of all, like something straight out of a novel. Hearing this name, Qi Yuan's eyes widen in excitement. Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment. He shouts eagerly. Teacher! May I ask, what exactly is this Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment? Sweating inwardly, Shu Runshan thinks, how would I know what that even is? But outwardly, he maintains composure. The so-called Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment is profound and unfathomable. I can only make some guesses, so listen carefully, but don't take it too seriously. Tell me, what do you think is the most precious foundation establishment material in the world? The tear of the stars? The primordial chi of creation? The supreme bone metallic essence? Or perhaps the ancient rankings? Hearing these grand names, Qi Yuan is stunned. Then he asks curiously. Since it's called Heavenly Dao Foundation Establishment, could its material be related to the Heavenly Dao itself? Shu Runshan nods quickly. Exactly right. The material must be. But before he can finish, Qi Yuan exclaims loudly. I understand. I understand now. So this is Heavenly Dao Foundation Establishment. Shu Runshan smiles. Good, as long as you understand. The rest of the disciples stare in confusion, thinking, what is he even talking about? Qi Yuan's eyes well up with tears of enlightenment. How did I never think of this before? The so-called Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment must mean using the Heavenly Dao itself as the foundation. He bows and says, Thank you, teacher. I'll take my leave now. The same girl, still love-struck, watches him go and murmurs, as expected of the chief disciple, so cool. Shu Runshan says, Your heart burns for the Dao. You may leave. After Qi Yuan leaves, he continues lecturing. Oh yes, it said that to form the Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment, one needs a wisp of azure energy that falls from the Heavenly Dao itself, called the Qi of Heavenly Veins. It's the very breath of heaven. If any of you could obtain even a single wisp. But Qi Yuan had already left the hall and didn't hear a single word of that last part. He's muttering to himself. Use the Heavenly Dao as the foundation, yes. As he walks back toward his peak, he thinks, Heavenly Dao Foundation establishment means using the Heavenly Dao as the material. But how do I refine the Heavenly Dao into a foundation material? Wait. A sudden idea strikes him. Could heaven fragments be used as foundation establishment materials? The game I play isn't ordinary. Whenever my in-game character grows stronger, I get real-life feedback. Maybe the Heaven Dao fragments can work in reality too. Entering his peak, he says to himself, Let's try it out. Seeing Qi Yuan rush past, Jiang Lingsu is startled. But as Qi Yuan enters his room, she yells angrily. Senior brother! You're skipping practice again today. Qi Yuan turns and says, Practice? Seriously? Can I get stronger faster than through gaming? Then he says loudly, Yuan Forbidden Zone, activate. In the next instant, he's teleported straight into the game. Crawling out of the pit, he smirks. Ha! Empress Jinli appeared here. Told you, I wasn't lying, right? But just then, a group of monsters appears ahead of him. Qi Yuan frowns. Damn, monsters in the Yuan Forbidden Zone never end. And they always come in groups. I'll need to find some isolated ones to handle first. He activates his stealth skill. We're told that in the game, Qi Yuan gains one main skill every 30 levels and one minor skill every 10 levels. His current main skills are Sky-Slaying Sword Draw and Overbearing Power, while Stealth is a minor skill that hides his presence. As he moves silently forward, he spots the monsters and freezes. Bro, what the hell are these monsters? They're walking underwear armors. Blushing slightly, Qi Yuan mutters. Damn, what lecherous monsters these are. In the previous part, Yuan was seeing a whole bunch of undergarment monsters, and even now he was quietly watching them. He was blushing, and he was thinking, what a pity, too many of them gathered here. Half an hour later, Yuan had come behind those clothes monsters, and he was watching them. All of these clothes monsters were below level 54. Yuan thought, good, fewer in number here. Yuan became excited and drew out his sword. Monster, take my sword! And with his sword, he destroyed all those clothes monsters in one single sweep. After destroying them, Yuan began receiving points from the system, and Yuan started laughing. Ha ha ha, that's how it should be. Once I level up, I'll go farm those lingerie monsters again. But his happiness didn't last long because the system started showing him a red alert, causing his points to go into minus. And when he turned around, there were countless clothes monsters behind him. He thought, why are so many clothes monsters running toward me? Did I get exposed? What's going on? Do they share vision? This is bad. Yuan ran to escape from those monsters, but they did not stop chasing him. So Yuan opened the system window and thought, right, Jinli seems to know something about these forbidden zones, maybe I should ask her? On the other side, the royal palace of the Nangon Kingdom. The Empress was sitting comfortably and thinking, the 9-petal Chiloa has been handed over to Anqin. Her injuries will no longer be a problem. She might even step into the realm of the Emperor. Just then, her jade began glowing. The Empress noticed it and quickly picked it up. Sweat was falling from her face, and she thought, Yuan encountered danger in the Iguan Forbidden Zone? Luckily, he escaped. The Empress let out a breath of relief, then messaged Yuan. I'll look up some information on the Iguan Forbidden Zone for you, stay careful for now. From the other side, Yuan replied, thanks for worrying about me, but let me tell you, the monsters in this Iguan Forbidden Zone are so bizarre, there are even belly band monsters and lingerie monsters. The Empress held her head and thought, this guy, maybe I shouldn't have helped him. Half an hour later, the Empress had summoned an elder. The elder greeted the Empress, and she asked him, there's so little record about the Iguan Forbidden Zone? Only a few pages? The elder replied, Your Majesty, it seems the Duke's residence may have more records about it. The old Duke once visited the Iguan Forbidden Zone in his youth, but... This elder was Grand Scholar Dong Shishun of the Wenyuan Pavilion. He continued, the Duke's daughter was the former noble consort, while Your Majesty's mother was the previous Empress. The noble consort and the Empress became enemies, and in the end, both met their deaths in the palace under mysterious circumstances. So the Duke blamed the Empress for it. He also thought, as the daughter of the Empress, if Your Majesty personally requests the book, you will surely be made things difficult. Just then, the Empress stood up and declared, I'll go visit the Duke myself. The elder was completely speechless. Some time later, Duke's residence. The Empress and her personal imperial guard Huaxian came out of the residence. Huaxian said angrily, the Duke is too much. He clearly knows Your Majesty's legs were injured long ago, yet he still deliberately made things difficult. Your Majesty, of noble imperial blood, exalted beyond compare, yet you were forced to kneel and mourn noble consort Shi for 3 whole hours. But the Empress smiled. Looking at the Forbidden Zone book, she said, at least I got what I wanted. She looked up at the moonlit sky and thought, but the book only mentions bridal monsters in the Iguan Forbidden Zone, while Yuan said there are belly band and lingerie monsters? That's strange. Never mind, I'll send him the key information first. Meanwhile, Yuan was still in the Forbidden Zone, sitting near a rock and looking at the system window. Suddenly, the Empress messaged him, the Iguan monsters are of one body, connected to each other, but at night, that link weakens greatly. Yuan smirked after reading the message and said, so that's it, when night comes, the Iguan monster's connection weakens, and I'll have my chance. Then he looked at the sun, whose bright rays were shining downward, and he thought, too bad it's broad daylight now, or I could be farming monsters already. The sun's so round, just like a golden core. Not bad, not bad. Jinli even found the coordinates of the danger zones and elite Iguan monsters. How thoughtful of her. Then he messaged the Empress, You said you've been having some trouble lately. What happened? Don't tell me you're following the game's story? What role are you playing? Maybe I can give you some advice. The Empress read the message and thought, is he asking about my identity in real life? I never told him. Will he get mad if he finds out? She replied, I'm the Empress of Nangon Kingdom. Yuan responded with emojis and wrote, Whoa, no way, your character's that awesome, an Empress? Then I've got to team up with you in the game. An Empress is way too rare. What's your current quest? The Empress stared at the message, shocked, and thought, quest? He probably means the trouble I'm facing. She then sent Yuan a long message explaining her problem. Right now, Nangon Kingdom faces both internal and external turmoil. Within, Chancellor Sima Ting covets the throne. Without, the Northern Khan court is invading. And demonic beasts keep attacking cities. The situation's dire. Yuan read the message and thought, got it, Jinli's stuck in a story quest, getting bullied by NPCs, huh? He replied, don't worry, once I'm out, I'll wipe all those NPCs out for you. Confidence spread across Yuan's face as he thought, however, I can still help you in another way. He messaged the Empress again, you know, if you do push-ups, you can get stronger. If you keep exercising every day, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, you can gain tremendous strength. The Empress was stunned after hearing about exercise. She thought, exercise? Push-ups? Sit-ups? Pull-ups? What are those? So Yuan sent her images and wrote, have your subordinates watch the movements, draw them, do them inside the Xianyuan Forbidden Zone, and you'll become stronger. The Empress thought, doing those movements can increase one's strength? But Yuan also said the Xianyuan Forbidden Zone's back ladder could be climbed. Could this really be some kind of supreme cultivation technique? Yuan then began drawing with his magical brush. Golden energy flowed from it, and once his drawing was complete, that golden energy shot up into the sky. Yuan also felt something and thought, increasing one's cultivation will have side effects. Like hair loss? Why is that? Could it be that changing the rules of the dungeon depends on my own perception? Yuan was shocked. Then he messaged the Empress, oh right, you all need to be careful, train too much, and you'll lose hair, overdo it, and you'll go bald. The Empress read the message and became completely confused. She thought, why would increasing cultivation cause hair loss? What's the connection? Scene shifts, inside the Divine Light sect. Yuan was walking with his kitchen knife in hand. He looked at his kitchen knife, smiled, and thought, work and rest should be balanced. After playing games, I still have to tease the kitchen knife. I wonder now that it's gained sentience, if I hold it, could I kill a golden core cultivator? Just then, Yuan looked ahead and saw several people in black clothes pushing through the crowd toward him. They were from law enforcement. One disciple shouted, Law enforcement hall business! Make way! Make way! The narrator explained, the disciples of the Golden Light Hall. Golden Light Hall is the law enforcement hall of the Divine Light sect. One disciple approached Yuan and greeted him. Greetings, senior brother. Yuan said. No need for formalities. The crowd began whispering. One disciple said, the injured one is senior brother Xingjianghe. Could it be related to the Black Mountain sect incident? Another disciple said, possibly. I heard the Black Mountain sect's core disciple, Chu Tianxiong, violated a newlywed woman in Rong City and slaughtered her entire family. Senior brother Xingjianghe from the Golden Light Hall went down the mountain specifically to arrest him. Yuan listened quietly as the two continued. Senior brother Xingjianghe is incredibly strong. How could he lose to Chu Tianxiong? Beat the old one and the young one comes. Villainous sects are all like that. Yuan silently listened, then said, in the Great Shang Kingdom, there are 3 great sects, Divine Light sect, Floating Mountain, and Demon Lust sect. But the sect one must never provoke is the Black Mountain sect, which stands beneath the 3 great sects. In terms of strength, the Black Mountain sect isn't as powerful as the 3 great sects, but its sect master has an adoptive father known as the Old Black Rooster Demon. The Old Black Rooster Demon is at the mid-divine infant stage, vengeful and difficult to deal with. Because of him, the Black Mountain sect has become arrogant and lawless, committing evil everywhere. Another disciple said. Moreover, half a month from now, during the Foundation Establishment Conference, the Black Mountain sect will also participate. By then, our Divine Light sect's reputation will be completely ruined. Qi Yuan ignored them and continued forward. A female disciple, who was obsessed with Qi Yuan, looked at him with eyes full of affection and said, "It's senior brother Qi. So handsome." But other disciples said, "Our Divine Light sect is facing this crisis, and that man is still teasing the kitchen knife? Keep your voice down. He hasn't even reached Foundation establishment yet. What's the point of discussing him? He probably can't even beat Chu Tianxiong." Qi Yuan heard their words but didn't respond. He simply continued on his way. Night, Iguan Forbidden Zone. All the undergarment monsters were sleeping, but Qi Yuan had arrived at the perfect time. From behind the bushes, he watched them and thought, as expected, at night their senses weaken considerably, and their connection with each other diminishes as well. He drew his sword from behind him and directly attacked the undergarment monsters, destroying them. He noticed none of them were moving, and a smile appeared on his face. No movement, as expected. Then, he continued attacking the monsters one after another, destroying them. Golden energy was radiating from his sword. Many undergarment monsters still remained, and Qi Yuan looked back at them, thinking, after killing dozens of them, did the surrounding Iguan monsters finally sense it? But at night, they're no different from headless flies. Time to hunt. Qi Yuan hunted continuously, destroying many monsters one after another. He gained a huge amount of points, making him extremely happy as he laughed. Ha! Now this feels like playing a game, so satisfying. But then he sensed something and looked at the sky. Many birds were flying at night, and seeing them, he thought, damn, the other monsters are starting to awaken. Still, with your reactions this slow, no teamwork, no coordination, can you even beat me? He rushed toward the remaining monsters to destroy them. A few hours later, Qi Yuan had destroyed many monsters, making him extremely exhausted, but his level had increased. Now his level was 84, and he looked at the system window, thinking, phew, there are still too many of these Iguan monsters. Not bad, I've leveled up to 84, my strength has increased quite a bit. I'll try to completely conquer the Iguan Forbidden Zone within half a month. Feeling a bit weak now, time to go back and make some chicken soup to replenish myself. Scene shifts, royal study of the Moonwatch continent. Aunt Qin had come to meet the Empress. Seeing her, the Empress was happy and asked, "Aunt Qin, are your injuries healed?" Aunt Qin replied, "Thanks to your Majesty's royal medicine, this old one's wounds have finally recovered, and my strength has risen to a higher level." The Empress smiled. "That's good to hear." Then she asked, "Aunt Qin, in 6 days you'll battle the Grand Preceptor of the Nafone Kingdom. Do you have confidence?" Aunt Qin said, "Well, yesterday, the Crown Prince of Nafone Kingdom visited Sima Ting, and Sima Ting gifted him a great elixir. It's called the Mixed Yuan Blood Sealing Pill." As soon as the Empress heard the name Mixed Yuan Blood Sealing Pill, she was shocked. "What?" And Hua Xian clenched her fist in anger and said, "Everyone knows Sima Ting's ambitions. Does he not fear public outrage?